Unfortunate injury news out of the NBA yet again. This time it's the Sacramento Kings suffering a major loss. Plus, will they ultimately still wind up being the team to sign Russell Westbrook, or is Russ going to wind up in China? And we actually have some good news. A superstar player did return to the court. I'm Trevor Lane. This is the Basketball Bulletin. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications as well. All right, let's take a look. Again, you hate seeing this out of Sacramento. The Kings say Keegan Murray out at least 4 to 6 weeks after an MRI revealed a torn UCL of the left thumb that will require surgery. 4 to 6 weeks, that means the beginning of the season gone for Keegan Murray. We are too close to the NBA season starting up. We're only about, just over a week away, and the NBA season will be off and running. So he is going to miss a decent chunk of the beginning of the year for the Sacramento Kings. And in an unforgiving Western Conference, that can certainly be, especially for a team that's already kind of on the bubble like Sacramento, this could wind up being the factor that determines whether or not the Kings are actually in the playoff mix in the Western Conference. Hopefully it doesn't come down to that, but Keegan Murray is a tough loss for he is a not a unique skill set. They do have guys like Keon Ellis, but he's the kind of player they need more of on this team, not less. They need guys who could defend. They need guys who could shoot outside. And I know that Keegan Murray, his percentages have not been moving in the direction that the Kings would want. You can see year by year, his three-point percentage has actually gotten worse since his rookie season, now shooting well below league average last season, 34%, but still a very talented young player, some defensive versatility, can help you on the boards. And frankly, when you look at the other options on this Kings roster, where they've got score-first players like Zach LaVine, like Malik Monk, they've got just too many, DeMar DeRozan, certainly, they've got just too many of these guys where their base skill set is putting the ball in the basket, and that is primarily what they do. So they need more Keegan Murrays. They need more Keon Ellises, and so to lose a player like him is particularly damaging because they are so badly in need of his skill set. Now, as Mark Stein notes, Keegan Murray is right now in the midst of extension talks with the Kings on a rookie scale contract extension. He was the number 4 overall pick in 2022, has until 6 p.m. Eastern time on October 20th. So that clock, it's ticking. That's just over a week away to come to terms on an extension with Sacramento or proceed to restricted free agency next summer. Will this go the way that the Utah Jazz ultimately went, much to the dismay of Walker Kessler in that situation, where they said, you know what, we've got restricted free agency protecting us. We're not going to be the team to commit long-term money to you just yet. Perhaps the struggles that we saw for players like Quentin Grimes, Jonathan Kuminga, Cam Thomas, Josh Giddey has emboldened teams a bit more to go ahead and push players towards restricted free agency unless they take very team-friendly deals right now. Maybe that's what we see happen here with Keegan Murray and the Sacramento Kings. But the bottom line is that if you are the Sacramento Kings and you need to see Keegan Murray get going behind the three-point line and feel like he's moving in the right direction there in order to commit big money to him long-term, it's difficult to do that ahead of this October 20th deadline with him not being on the floor. And it's a tiny sample size, but maybe worth noting, he has yet to hit a 3 so far in preseason. Just 2 preseason games. We're talking about 6 shot attempts. That is way too small of a sample size to draw any conclusions from it. But the bottom line is that it's not like the Kings can feel super warm and fuzzy about his ability to hit the long ball, given what we've seen in preseason and the way that things have been trending for him so far. But again, in terms of his size, his switchability defensively, what he theoretically can be for Sacramento, they need more guys like this. But I do worry that this is going to now inhibit the extension talks here with Keegan Murray, because again, how comfortable can Sacramento be that the 3 ball is going to start falling? Speaking of players who can't hit the 3, Russell Westbrook is potentially looking at still winding up with the Sacramento Kings. I'm going to get to that next. First, a quick shout out, though, to our sponsor, Sleeper. Phenomenal sponsor for the show here. You guys can use the link in the description down below and our promo code Bulletin to get a 100% match up to $100. Again, that link is in the description down below. And if you haven't heard of the Sleeper app, here's a secret. It's more than just a platform for season-long fantasy leagues. This year, millions of users have enjoyed playing fantasy sports on Sleeper, and the app offers a lot more than just that. Live stats, real-time updates, and visualization on all stats. A news feed with lightning-fast updates. I use that all the time. Great way to stay on top of things, and a real-time chat where you can engage with other users about individual plays and performances during the NFL and NBA season. So download the #1 sports app today. Experience it for yourself. And a great promo going on right now, a free $20 entry. If you get into Sleepers Picks, go check it out. Free $20 entry. No deposit required. So again, use that code Bulletin. Use the link in the description down below. All right, let's talk a little bit about Russell Westbrook potentially winding up in Sacramento. Of course, we had the rumors earlier this week that there are going to be significant offers for Russ in China to potentially go continue his career there. However, Shams Charania is saying, no, the Kings are still interested in him, but right now there isn't really a spot. What we heard from Sam Amick earlier this week was that Russell Westbrook would be a Sacramento King if Sacramento could offload a guard, but they haven't been able to do that just yet. This is from Shams. He said, I'm told there's strong mutual interest between Russell Westbrook and the Kings. The Kings have a need for a reserve point guard. They were 29th in bench points, 29th in bench assists last season. Russell Westbrook can help with that. And he's got relationships across the organization. Sabonis, Schroeder, DeRozan, Levine has relationships with all of them. They have LA ties as well. And BJ Armstrong, the assistant GM, knows BJ from the agency side, and he does have respect with Scott Perry, their new general manager, and Doug Christie, their head coach. So there's a lot of synergy there, a lot of connections between Russell Westbrook and the Sacramento Kings. You know, look, I think we could be in a situation where Russ does wind up in China or something, if he's open to that. The report from Amick's interview on the radio the other day, it was not Amick saying this. The name of the host escapes me, but mentioned that there was a deal that could have paid him close to 4 times what he would make on an NBA salary to go play in China. I speculated that would probably be like something like a $10 million deal to go play in China, which obviously that's a lot of money. If you're Russell Westbrook, do you want to make that leap and then maybe return to the NBA after the Chinese season ends? Because players could do something like that. Maybe you build an NBA out into your contract and you go that route. Or is there belief from Russ that ultimately the Sacramento Kings will find a way to open up a roster spot for you? If you look at the Kings roster right now, there just isn't really room. Beyond that, though, I've said it before, I don't think Russell Westbrook fits what the Kings need. Yeah, they could use another creator off the bench. Yeah, you can use another scorer off the bench. But Russ, who, again, had a better season, I think, than people give him credit for. I really do. I think he had a better season than people give him credit for last season with the Denver Nuggets. But while he can give you some shot creation, he's not really the kind of scorer that's going to give you this insane burst off the bench. He will some nights. There are going to be nights where he's hot, but he's not exactly a pillar or a model of efficient scoring in today's NBA. So that I think is a challenge. And again, on a team that already has Zach LaVine, already has DeMar DeRozan, already has Malik Monk, I do not like the fit in Sacramento at all for Russell Westbrook. But he wants to continue his career, wants to be in the NBA. And if the Kings are willing to offer him a spot, sure. But it did seem to be dependent upon the Kings moving one of the guards off their roster, most likely Malik Monk, in order to try to make him a better fit, which they were attempting to do in a Jonathan Kuminga trade. Obviously, that did not come to fruition. Kuminga wound up staying with the Golden State Warriors. So for now, Russell Westbrook, the former MVP, does not have an NBA team. Maybe Sacramento finds a way to create the space for him and then adds him. If you're Russ, at least you're still playing in the NBA. From the Sacramento side, I hate the fit for them. And I hate it even more without Keegan Murray. If Keegan Murray is out 4 to 6 weeks, if that extends beyond that at all, you need defensive pieces around Russell Westbrook if you're going to have him out there on the floor. I just don't think Russ makes it. Again, he's talented. He should be in the NBA. From a pure talent perspective, could he help the Kings that way? Yes, but skill set wise, I just do not think that he's the fit that they need. But would like to see Russ continue his NBA career. And if the best option to do that is Sacramento, then so be it. But I don't think that particularly bodes well for Sacramento and their ability. Like, I'm not moving the Kings up in terms of their playoff potential in the Western Conference. But I did say there's some good news here. A player that is returning, and that is Joel Embiid. Was great to see. And the first time Embiid has played in front of fans now, did play in an open scrimmage for the 76ers. Take a look at this. Joel Embiid getting back on the floor. It was a free event for fans to see their favorite players in a team scrimmage and get to interact with them. The sight to see was the return of Joel Embiid, who has been practicing with the Sixers but has not played publicly since February 22nd of last year when he was ruled out for the season, and then he had knee surgery in April. Here's a little bit of footage of Embiid. Fake baseline drive for the dunk. Not particularly explosive, not like he's jumping out of the gym or anything like that, but still good to see the big man, the former MVP, back out there on the court. We, of course, know the cap situation the 76ers are in. They very badly need Joel Embiid, given the amount of money. Joel Embiid and, of course, Paul George, too. They need those two guys to be healthy. Yes, they've got some interesting young talent on this team. They've got VJ Edgecombe now. They've got Tyrese Maxey. They've got Jared McCain, who unfortunately is already dealing with an injury of his own. But Joel Embiid, Paul George, you look at the salary that is allocated towards them. They've got to get those guys on the floor and productive. And they are the highest variance team in the NBA. They could be a lottery team. They could be one of the worst teams in the NBA if they had injuries the way they did last year. If Joel Embiid is not able to return to form, if he can't even be, 80% of what he once was, they could be one of the worst teams in the league. They could also be, particularly in a weak East, one of the teams that's pushing towards not even a play in, but a playoff spot. Like that potential, that talent is here on this roster. It all just depends on who is available and can they stay available, or is this just going to be a revolving door of players in and off, on and off the injury report? But good to see Joel Embiid back on the floor. Wanted to throw in a little. I'm tired. I am tired, everybody, of all of these injuries. So many players getting hurt. No more of it. Now we've got Keegan Murray out. The other day we had LeBron. We've got Fred VanVleet. We've got all these guys that have been getting banged up. Tyler Hero out for the Heat. On and on and on. One injury after another. Stay healthy, everybody. Wanted to finish with some good news. Joel Embiid back on the floor, playing in front of fans for the first time since February of last year. But everybody give me your thoughts in the comments down below. Can the Kings sustain themselves without Keegan Murray? What about the potential addition of Russell Westbrook and Joel Embiid getting back on the floor? Give me your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Till next time, see you and stay safe.